Effects that modify sounds are now multiplicative rather than additive. This means that sounds that are reduced to 0%, such as engine noises by the perk iron, will no longer be increased by perks such as Strider and will instead remain at 0. So now yin is stronger than yang, and not yin and yang balance each other out. I don't use Strider on Spirit. I don't, because I discovered real quick that one, it makes Spirit way too damn easy, and two, you are literally training yourself to listen for grunts of pain and not other sounds that survivors make, such as moving grass and footstep sounds. I'm gonna have to rush this video. I was hoping to take my time editing it, but I'm gonna have to rush this video to get the community to realize that the way Spirit's current kit is, there's just no way to nerf her. You can't nerf her without butchering her. What is up, guys? It's your boy Migrant the Great, and in this video, well, I kind of wanted to talk about how, because everybody is talking about Spirit, a lot of people are saying that Spirit is broken, Spirit has no counterplay. Then there's people saying that Spirit does have counterplay, and then there are some people saying that Spirit is just fine. And I understand where everybody is coming from. As a Spirit main, I truly do, but I hate to tell you guys this, but I am a Spirit main, and I'm one of the firm believers that Spirit is not broken. I don't think Spirit is broken. I believe the main problem there is with Spirit is simply not Spirit. It's survivors. And it's due to the simple fact that survivors, they are used to holding two buttons. And those two buttons have to be Shift plus W. Those are the only buttons that survivors want to use within a chase. And not only that, survivors want all the information that they can get so that they can counter the killer, which in my opinion just really isn't skillful from, like, in my book. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So what I got set up here for you guys is a little itty bitty flow chart. Hold on, I gotta change colors. That, and then no, I don't want to change that one. I want to change that one. Then we got to use green. Alrighty, so what I got here for you guys is a little itty bitty flow chart. So here you got Spirit, since this is the killer that we are going to be talking about. And then here is her kit, and god damn it, I forgot to do that, but oh well. And then here is her kit. So, and then as you can see, we branch off into two different sides. So here on the left side is the things that her kit is capable of. So one, phasing. As we all know, Spirit, she can phase. She does that grudge stuff, and then she's able to move around. She can phase. That's literally Spirit's kit. Two, also the thing about Spirit's kit offers her anti-loop, or in other words, you shouldn't even be trying to loop Spirit. But then again, that's all survivors, it's all they really can do, but they don't want to do it in an effective way. And then secondly, we got scratch marks and hearing, because whenever Spirit goes into phasing, she can see scratch marks, but they're not reliable, which is why she has to resort to hearing. And then next we got her passive phasing, which is whenever she's not phasing, she's just holding WASD when she's blinking in and out of existence. That's her passive phasing. That's supposed to be for mind games, but I don't understand how it helps out with mind games when survivors react to the react. And then, but this is the left side. This is what Spirit's kit and what she's capable of. And then over here on the right side, these are the things that people have a problem with survivors, and things that people would suggest on how to fix Spirit. And the purpose of this flowchart is to simply show how ineffective it's going to be. So let's start. So let's say that behavior was listening to us. Everybody seems to have a problem with the fact that Spirit doesn't have some kind of indicator. Keep in mind that the purpose of Spirit's kit is to trick survivors, and you can trick survivors. Well, the best way to trick survivors in this game really is to give them no information, or to give them false information. And a lot of people say she needs an indicator. Well, whenever you're looping a trapper at a jungle gym and he turns his red stain one way and moonwalks, and you walk back into him thinking that he's gonna come from the other way, isn't that kind of a fucking trick? And you don't have any information. I mean, you can't see the red stain. I mean, you're pretty much guessing that he's gonna come from that way. So I don't see the difference. I don't see why spirit needs an indicator. But let's say that behavior did decide to listen to us and give spirit an indicator. So how does this hurt spirit? Well, you give spirit an indicator. One, you nullify her phasing, and that's part of her fucking kit. You straight up nullify her phasing. Her anti-loop might take a hit. Her anti-loop might take a hit to it, but that's like, you're gonna mess that up for her. And then she's gonna have to, scratch marks really aren't reliable, but she can but she can still hear. Her passive phasing, I just put that down, but you've already marked off 3 things that are gonna hurt killer, that are gonna hurt spirit. Only problem is, the key thing is, you hurt her phasing. You hurt her phasing, you pretty much mess up her kit. You mess up her kit, nobody will use spirit. And when nobody uses spirit, do you know what the next survivor complaint is going to be? That is going to eventually lead to this. No variety at high ranks, which pretty much means that you won't see spirit at high ranks, but most likely for the most competitive level, you're only going to see nurse. You're only going to see nurse. If it's competitive, you're only going to see nurse. And a lot of survivors really have been complaining about, I don't see it's always nurse and spirit, but y'all want to get spirit nerfed and then complain about no variety of killers at the high ranks. But let's go on to the next thing. So let's say that another problem that people seem to have is spirit's fake phasing. Now, I can strongly 100% agree with this. In my opinion, spirit really should not be able to stand there. I mean, I understand it's a trick, it's a mind game, but in my opinion, spirit, she really shouldn't be able to stand there. Like, that's just brain dead. But let's say that behavior was to get rid of fake phasing. Now, here's the thing about if you get rid of fake phasing. If you get rid of fake phasing, you pretty much give her an indicator, which then her phasing and her anti-loop takes a hit, which defeats the purpose of her kit, which nobody plays spirit, which goes back to complaining about no variety at high ranks. That's like, it's the main things that the 2 main things that I hear that survivors have with spirit ultimately lead to butchering her kit. Ultimately leads to butchering her kit. Let's move on to the next thing about some ideas that I've heard about how to nerf spirit. So some people say that spirit shouldn't be able to see scratch marks. So she has an add-on called, I believe it's, do I still have it open? Yes. I believe it's called Mother-Daughtering. Mother-Daughtering. This is the add-on. Mother-Daughtering. This add-on tremendously increases the movement speed of Yamaoka's haunting or phasing, but she cannot see scratch marks. Or let me rephrase that. The moment she presses M2, any new scratch mark survivors make by the time she presses M2, survivors aren't going to be, spirit isn't going to be able to see those scratch marks. She'll see the ones that are left behind, but she won't see any fresh scratch marks. But this add-on is apparently problematic to the community, and you guys already know who, but I'm not going to go into that. But let's say that behavior was listening and they decided, nope. Where's my new layer? Where's my, oh well. So let's say that behavior decides to listen to us and they do get rid of scratch marks. Well, one, you get rid of scratch marks. What this is going to hurt for her, she's not going to have any pointers on which direction the survivors went. She won't have any pointers on which direction survivors went. She's just not going to. She's just going to have to, she's going to be blindly guessing. She's going to be 100% blindly guessing. And survivors, y'all already don't like guessing. So what makes y'all think that the killer wants to guess? When 90% of the killer roster is already guessing, but they're not 100% guessing, but it's not going to affect her kit. It's just going to force her to guess more. Like, she can still phase. She'll still have anti-looping, but I mean, I don't know. And then let's move on to the next one. And then let's say that behavior did do something about sounds, which is what apparently this PTB is about, and they're fixing to do. Apparently, I don't have a problem with it because I've trained my ears. Unlike most spirits, I've trained my ears to listen for survivors' footsteps. I've trained my ears to listen for survivors' farts. I've trained my ears to listen for survivors in lockers. But let's say that behavior does get rid of sounds. So what does this do? It doesn't necessarily harm her. It'll make phasing a little bit more tricky. Her anti-loop more tricky. She'll still be able to see scratch marks as of hearing more tricky. Passive phasing isn't going to have any effect on it. The only thing that I could say about sounds is if it does anything directly to spirit. You guys remember the updates where sounds are always breaking? Yeah, when sounds are always breaking, nobody played spirit. Nobody played spirit until they fixed her sounds to where she can actually hear. And the fact that they are buffing okay, so they're technically buffing and nerfing buffing Iron Will, nerfing Strider. So my only thing about this is imagine it as yin and yang, one being the other. Let's say that Iron Will is yin and Strider is yang. You're practically making yin way more powerful than yang, and they are supposed to be balanced. But I understand it's an asymmetrical game, but it's, in my opinion, nerfing Strider and buffing Iron Will like that isn't gonna solve the problem with spirit. Like that's just my 2 cents. Now excuse me. Now this is just one thing that I've heard about people saying that they should do to spirit. Some people are saying that while she is phasing, you should get a glimpse of spirit, just periodic glimpse of spirit. Now let's say that behavior was listening and they did do that. Behavior was like, you know what, survivors are right. We should give spirit give survivors a glimpse of spirit while she's phasing. Well, one, you're gonna have to compensate the fuck out of spirit for that. You're 100% going to have to, because then survivors are receiving too much information. And what I mean by they're receiving too much information, it's gonna affect her phasing due to the simple fact you're giving survivors an indicator that she is phasing. And next, this defeats the purpose of her phasing. Her anti-loop, not so much, but it might take a hit. But because you are directly affecting her phasing, you are going to defeat the purpose of her kit, in which nobody plays spirit and no variety at high ranks. I'm just trying to get you guys to realize almost everything here that I have said, it defeats the purpose of her kit. There's no way to nerf spirit. You cannot nerf spirit. If you nerf her, you either make her unfun to play as, or you butcher her kit. She is just like, there's no way to nerf her. The best thing that you can do about spirit is 100% rework her power. Give her a brand new power. That is the only thing you can do to spirit. Now, behavior, they're not going to delete spirit, because then let's be honest, that's money that they're missing out on. But the best way, literally the best way to nerf or do something about spirit is to rework her. Straight up, just rework spirit. That is the only thing that you can do about it. Now, yes, I would be a little bit sad about reworking spirit, but there's just no way to nerf or rework her. You can't. You can't. I hope this video opened up you guys' eyes about spirit. There's just simply no way you can't. Like, you can't nerf spirit. There's just there is no way to nerf spirit. You can't nerf spirit without butchering her kit or making her unfun. And the only examples that I can use is, imagine if Nurse's torn bookmark torn bookmark, what is it, add-on was base kit for her, except the third blink. The negative effect of that ultra rare add-on is that she cannot blink through objects unless she has a direct line of sight to the other side. And the purpose of Nurse's kit is, or one of the purposes of Nurse's kit is to avoid obstacles, to go through them. I hope this works. Like, feel free to share this and everything, but there's just no way to nerf Spirit without butchering her kit. You have to rework her from the ground up. It's kind of like building a house. You demolish the house because it's old, and then you got to start from the foundation up. That is the only way to nerf Spirit, really. And which then you're not really nerfing her. You're pretty much creating a brand new killer. But we're gonna go. I'm pretty sure this video is lasting longer than I intended to, but I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end of the video. Like and subscribe for more content, but that is all I have for you guys for now. I am Migrant the Great, and I will see you guys in the next video.